Happy Christmas! I'm so happy to see you again. We're getting today into the second installment of our erotic school. So first things first, let's go to the post. I'm going to show it on screen and I'm going to read it to you. So the theoretical case that I propose here was this. Two people are dating, not yet physically intimate. As time passes, they become increasingly anxious about their bodies. Neither one is perfect. Both are dreading the moment, though they like each other. What would you tell those people in that situation? Here are the options first. Seek therapy, counseling to discuss physical insecurities. Nobody voted for this. Include fitness strategies, short workouts, intermittent fasting, and so on. One person voted. Apply techniques to be fully present in the moment. Nobody voted for this. What if they spoke about it with each other? 3 people voted for this. So let's get into this discussion. First of all, please understand that this is a theoretical discussion. We don't really cover the specificities of every single person, every couple out there, age, other illnesses, accidents that have happened and maybe they left them with movement impairment and so on, okay? Also, please understand this is not a medical podcast, this is not a psychological podcast, this is a coaching video, okay? So that's why I actually added, because this is a coaching video, the first option that I added was to seek therapy and speak about this. Why did I put this as my first option in that voting list? And why do I strongly recommend everybody to go to a therapist at least once in their lifetime to talk about their body image issues? Number one, everybody has them. In today's society, where image, with the rise of video and the streaming apps and the AI models and influencers and, all that, plastic surgery and all that, people's bodies are not actually pretty natural anymore. At least not those very visible online. I'm talking about the influencers. Whether they take steroids or other supplements to increase their body mass, whether they go for, I don't know what kind of surgeries, to extract fat, HIFU. That's also something that, maybe you want to consider it. So I'm not judging them. I'm simply stating the facts, okay? Plastic surgery, body enhancements, body implants, whatever else, fake images with the case of, filters, beauty filters, AI, and so on. So the standards for how we should look in order to be successful, okay? And sometimes what successful people choose as their partners, whether we're talking men or women, okay, it doesn't matter. There's a certain image nowadays and almost a kind of standard, if you ask me. And although in some cultures, maybe, let's say the breast size isn't always the same for all cultures, but at least when it comes to the face, they're starting to look uniform, okay? They're starting to look alike. And that's going to affect every single one of us. So at a certain level, subconsciously, especially if we're on the younger side, let's say in our teens, in our 20s, maybe in our 30s, we're going to be very susceptible to that. I'm going to give you an example, which was very surprising to me, but I've been studying for a while now the phenomenon of Japanese hosts, male hosts, okay? So in Japan, in that culture, not only is it women that entertain men, but there are also men who entertain women for payment. The entertainment differs, okay? Those men never offer sexual services for that entertainment. They just offer company and talking and so on, because this is what women appreciate. However, one of the Japanese hosts that is more famous, and it reached other people in other cultures, is a guy named Roland. I forgot, his name is not Roland, okay? He just took this name from an anime. But he actually admitted that he became more famous and more successful because people appreciated him more once he did plastic surgery on his face. And boy, when you look at his face, it really isn't, I don't see Japanese people looking like that, okay? So he really did change his face a lot. Okay, the nose, definitely not Japanese. Okay, it looks very, very unusual. The eyes too, the shape of the face, like a lot of things. I don't know what this guy looked like before. I really don't. But yeah, that's one thing that I really found striking. Also in Korea, South Korea, you know that a lot of the K-pop idols, actors, men and women get plastic surgery. A lot of them. Not all, but it's extremely widespread. And it's reached a point in South Korea where people get plastic surgery to get a regular job that doesn't really imply working with or it doesn't entail working with the public or being a public figure. No, but they just get the plastic surgery because this is what respecting your job means, to get plastic surgery on your face. So that's what I'm saying, that the culture nowadays, it is extremely vicious, okay, and fierce when it comes to image. So my first suggestion was get a therapy session, at least one, and talk to somebody about your insecurities. And do that even before you are, you know, just like this theoretical case here, dating somebody, potentially getting intimate with the person. It really helps, like that would be your investment for the quality of your life and then also your relationship, to work your insecurities, which are to be expected in today's culture, about your body image, okay? Everybody should consider that at least. Next, the second option that at least one person voted include fitness strategies. So short workouts, intermittent fasting, power walking. I don't know if you people know, but I used to jog a lot since I was in my teens. And in my 30s, I ran an ultra marathon and I trained for it in just 1 month. I was extremely thin that month because of that training. And my body could take it. Now I don't recommend running that much for the joints and all that, especially people in their 40s and over. But power walking, this is something that I do regularly. At least in my case, 10,000 steps would be around 7 or 8 kilometers. It depends on, 7 or 8, something like that. So I try to walk at least 7 kilometers every other day or so, power walking, okay? It really helps our body, it helps our lymph system, it helps our metabolism, it helps the digestion, especially if, please hear me out, when you learn to run properly, you actually use your entire body, not just your legs, okay? You use your glutes, you use your abs, and you use the upper body because you actually push yourself with your entire body. Okay, whenever you study jogging, and you can at least all the legs and glutes and then the abs, you can use them even when you're doing power walking, okay, as a technique. So it's extremely healthy for you. It's going to change how you look overall. And when you do that, you're going to see that naturally you start to change how you eat also, okay? You don't have to be a model. You don't have to get plastic surgery, implants, fat extraction, and so on. You can do small things in your life that are, one, healthy, two, they help you look better. Okay, so whoever voted for that, awesome. I really, really relate to including movement in our weekly schedule, at least. The third, apply techniques to be fully present in the moment. I wish more people had voted for it. Honestly. You cannot imagine how many people are not present in the moment, in the intimate act, because they're so worried about how their body looks, how their belly looks, how their thighs look, cellulite, breasts, whatever, okay? So a lot of people worry how they look, and they get into their heads and they get out of the sensation. They're not connected to the moment. And this is how they also, a lot of people miss out on orgasm because they brain, that's how we say in Romania, we brain too much. To brain, it's not correct even in Romanian to say, but it's a very informal way to say that you're overthinking it, okay? You're ruminating way too much and you're disconnected from the body. So that's why a lot of my work, especially on Patreon, it's about practices, somatic practices to get you in the body. Okay? And remember, there's also a lot of sayings out there, one of them being good lovers are good breathers. Breath forces you to come to your body. Yep, it does. You can't think too much. When you're doing a lot of deep breaths, your thoughts kind of get, they melt away. Really. And the fourth option that was here, what if they spoke about it? Absolutely. I recommend speaking about a lot of things before you get intimate with somebody. And I know this is a mood killer for a lot of people because people just want to get on with it, and people hope to find somebody with whom they have such a connection that they don't need to speak. They actually can understand themselves, I don't know, telepathically. But I still recommend that you speak about a lot of things, such as not just what your body looks like, maybe measurements, not to brag, but to find out if you're compatible about this. In my Patreon community, I made a few videos. One was a video of practice to help people deal with their body insecurities, okay, so body image issues. But then I also made a presentation about women's body shame, because usually it's the women who have been shamed. The standards, the beauty standards are more vicious, and women get more attacked online about how their bodies look. So in that video, and in that presentation, I was talking about a lot of the issues that people have and a lot of the sources of body shame for women, from breast size to body hair to cellulite or body fat to sexual expression and libido. Okay, women are shamed if they have a low libido. Women are shamed if they have a too high libido also. Still going on these days, okay, believe it or not. What else was it? Revenge porn. Okay, that's another source of not just body shame, because usually the women's bodies are exposed, but also overall sexuality shame. Comparisons with OnlyFans models, porn stars, public figures, former partners, and so on. Okay, so I got into a lot of issues there. And then I also dove into, for a bit, the sources of body shame for men. Usually more related to their sexual performance, their genitalia, and maybe sometimes body mass overall. I also brought some statistics in the case of women around breast size, and in the case of men, penis size. That one, just as a discussion, for more awareness, I think we should all consider checking that one out. That's available to my subscribe members. So if you subscribe to my Patreon, then you also help me do my work, okay? You support my work, but you also have access to a lot of, practices, a lot of other bonuses, including this one, where I spoke about body shame and I dove into men's body shame also. So this was my take on the second installment of our erotic school. This is how I recommend that we approach body shame. And especially, I recommend that we approach it, like I said in the beginning, by seeking a therapy session, okay, around this issue way before we're in a relationship. Or whenever we become aware that this might be an issue for us, just get a therapy session, okay? Just as an investment for yourself, for your inner peace, and then also for your intimate bliss, whether you're in a relationship or casually dating, whatever your style is. That said, I'm going to keep showing up here. Hope that you will also support me via the Patreon channel. Not here. I know some people donate here. Please understand, in the 10 years that I've been doing this work, with advertising and all the donations that I got, I still didn't reach the threshold to be sent the money by YouTube. Can you imagine? Yeah. So please, if you want to support me on Patreon. I would so much appreciate it. See you next time with the third installment of the Erotic School. Bye.